The shocking revelation. The Galactic Empire's High Council was in session. In the Grand Chamber, alien leaders from dozens of star systems sat in their glittering seats, confident and relaxed. They ruled the galaxy without fear. For centuries, their fleets had crushed every uprising, every rebellion, every challenger. No one could threaten the Empire's might, or so they believed. But today, something was different. An urgent message had arrived from the outer systems. The air in the chamber was tense as Grand Admiral Xeros read the report aloud. His voice, usually commanding, was filled with disbelief. "A human signal has been intercepted," he began, his 4 eyes narrowing. "It mentions a new warship they've built, something called the USS Blackstar." A ripple of laughter swept through the room. Humans were seen as weak, barely worthy of attention. Their technology was primitive compared to the Empire's advanced fleets. How could such a species create anything worth fearing? Chancellor Orlax, the leader of the council, waved a hand to silence the chuckles. "What's so special about this Blackstar?" he asked with a smirk. Xeros hesitated. "The report says it's unlike anything the galaxy has ever seen. It is said to possess weapons capable of destroying entire fleets in a single strike." The room fell silent. "Impossible," Orlax scoffed. "Humans don't have the resources or intelligence to build such a ship." Another council member, a reptilian creature with scales like polished metal, hissed in agreement. "They are exaggerating. It's human propaganda, meant to make them seem stronger." But Xeros wasn't convinced. He gestured to the holographic display in the center of the room. A grainy recording began to play. It showed a massive ship emerging from a space dock on a distant human colony. Its sleek, black hull reflected the stars like a mirror. The ship moved with an eerie grace, almost as if it were alive. Then came the shocking part. The Blackstar aimed at an asteroid field in the recording. In a flash, a beam of light shot from the ship, tearing through the field with surgical precision. Massive asteroids that had drifted in space for millennia were reduced to dust in seconds. The council gasped. "What kind of weapon is that?" Orlax demanded, his confident tone replaced with unease. "No known energy source could produce such power," Xeros admitted. "And yet, humans have done it." The council erupted into chaos. Some shouted that the recording was fake, a trick by human spies. Others argued that it was better to investigate and crush the threat before it grew. Only Orlax remained silent, his mind racing. He couldn't deny what he had just seen. Finally, he spoke. "Send a scout fleet. I want the Blackstar located and destroyed before it becomes a real problem." Xeros nodded, but his expression was grim. "If the recording is real, even a scout fleet might not be enough." "Are you afraid of humans?" Orlax sneered. "No," Xeros replied, though his tone betrayed him. "I am afraid of what they've become." Far from the Empire's heart, in the shadow of a dying star, the Blackstar loomed in silence. Its crew worked tirelessly, monitoring the galaxy's responses. Inside the ship, Commander Ethan Kane stood on the bridge, watching the stars through the massive viewport. "We've intercepted their message, sir," a young officer reported. "The Empire is sending a scout fleet." Kane nodded, his face calm. "Good. Let them come." The Blackstar's eye, a cold, precise voice, spoke next. "The Empire underestimates us. Their arrogance will be their downfall." Kane smirked. He knew what the Blackstar was capable of. It wasn't just a warship. It was humanity's ultimate weapon, designed to level the playing field against an empire that had oppressed them for generations. "Prepare the ship for engagement," Kane ordered. "We'll show them what humans can do." Meanwhile, the Empire's scout fleet sped through hyperspace, its sleek ships slicing through the void like daggers. The fleet's captain, a seasoned warrior named Fralic, was confident. "The humans are bold to challenge the Empire," he growled, "but they'll regret it soon enough." As the fleet entered human-controlled space, a strange signal disrupted their communication systems. It was a warning. You are entering restricted space. Turn back now, or face destruction. Vralik laughed. Let them try. But then, out of the darkness, the Blackstar appeared. Its massive form was like a shadow against the stars, silent and menacing. Before the fleet could react, the Blackstar's weapons activated. Beams of light erupted from its hull, tearing through the scout ships like paper. In moments, the fleet was gone. Only silence remained. Back in the Empire's council chamber, the news arrived quickly. The scout fleet had been destroyed. No survivors, no distress signals, nothing. Orlax stared at the report, his hands trembling. What are we dealing with? He whispered. First blood. The Galactic Empire's High Council was in turmoil. The loss of the scout fleet was more than a tactical defeat. It was an insult, a crack in the armor of their invincibility. Chancellor Orlax's booming voice filled the chamber as he slammed a clawed fist on the table. This is unacceptable, he roared. Humans think they can challenge the Empire. We must respond with overwhelming force. Grand Admiral Xeros shifted uncomfortably. With respect, Chancellor, we don't know the Blackstar's full capabilities. The scout fleet was annihilated before it could send back any detailed data. Orlax glared at him. It's a human ship, Xeros. How advanced could it possibly be? Before Xeros could reply, a sharp tone echoed through the chamber. A holographic display flickered to life, showing a live transmission. It was from humanity. A human officer, his face hidden behind a sleek, black visor, appeared. His voice was calm but carried a chilling weight. To the leaders of the Galactic Empire, the man said, "This is Commander Ethan Kane of the USS Blackstar. Your scout fleet violated sovereign human space. We warned you. Now, they are gone." Gasps and murmurs filled the room. The commander continued, unbothered by their reactions. Let this be a message. Humanity will no longer bow to your tyranny. If you value your fleets, your worlds, and your people, stay out of our territory. This is your only warning. The transmission ended abruptly, leaving the council in stunned silence. Orlax's face twisted in rage. They dare threaten us. Xeros spoke cautiously. It wasn't just a threat. It was a promise. Meanwhile, far from the Empire's capital, the Blackstar drifted in the quiet of space. Its hull shimmered with dark, angular patterns, a blend of human engineering and something far more advanced. Inside the ship, the crew worked with quiet efficiency, their movements precise and purposeful. Commander Kane stood on the bridge, staring out into the vast void. "Status report," he said. Lieutenant Harper, a sharp-eyed woman with a steady voice, replied. "Scout fleet neutralized. No survivors." The message was delivered. Kane nodded. And their response? Harper glanced at her console. Their remaining fleets are mobilizing. They're preparing for war. Kane smirked. Good. Let them come. The Blackstar wasn't just a warship. It was a message. For too long, humanity had been seen as weak, a backwater species to be ignored or exploited. But the Blackstar changed everything. Built in secret, using technology salvaged from a long-forgotten alien wreck, it was humanity's ace in the hole. Faster than any Imperial ship, with weapons that defied the known laws of physics, the Blackstar was a nightmare the Empire had never prepared for. In a distant sector, the Empire's first retaliation force was assembling. 50 warships, each bristling with advanced weapons, formed a massive battle line. At their head was the Imperial dreadnought Eclipse, a towering beast of metal and plasma. Its captain, Admiral Vralik, was a veteran of 100 campaigns. "This will be a lesson," Vralik growled to his crew. "A lesson that no one defies the Empire." The fleet entered hyperspace, their engines humming with the power to cross the galaxy in hours. Their destination, the outer human colonies where the Blackstar was rumored to patrol. But as the fleet emerged from hyperspace, something was wrong. "Admiral," a junior officer said, his voice shaky, "the Blackstar is here." Vralik frowned. "How?" "We took the unmarked route." The officer stammered. It was waiting for us. In the distance, the Blackstar appeared, its dark hull absorbing the light of the nearby star. It moved like a predator, silent and deliberate. Then, without warning, its weapons activated. The first shot was a beam of searing white energy. It struck the Eclipse directly, bypassing its shields as if they weren't there. The massive dreadnought shuddered, its hull glowing red-hot where the beam had hit. "Return fire," Vralik bellowed. The fleet unleashed a torrent of plasma, missiles, and kinetic rounds, but the Blackstar was already moving. It darted through the chaos with impossible speed, its cloaking systems flickering on and off to confuse targeting systems. One by one, Imperial ships exploded, their hulls torn apart by precise, devastating strikes. On board the Eclipse, panic spread. "Our weapons aren't hitting it," a gunner shouted. "It's like it knows where we're aiming." Vralik's eyes widened. "AI. It's using advanced AI." The Blackstar's final strike came without warning. A single, concentrated blast of energy tore through the Eclipse, splitting it in two. The flagship of the Imperial fleet was gone, leaving nothing but silence and wreckage in its wake. Back on the Blackstar, Commander Kane watched the destruction with a grim expression. "Casualties?" he asked. "Minimal," Harper replied. "They couldn't land a single hit." Kane nodded. "They'll send more." Harper hesitated. "And if they do?" Kane's lips curled into a cold smile. "Then we'll show them why the Blackstar was built." As the Blackstar slipped back into the shadows of space, its crew knew one thing for certain. The Empire had drawn first blood, but humanity would finish the war. The Empire strikes back. The Imperial High Council was reeling. The destruction of Admiral Vralik's fleet had sent shockwaves across the galaxy. For the first time in centuries, the Empire faced a challenger capable of not just resisting, but outright annihilating their forces. Chancellor Orlax paced the chamber, his claws tapping against the smooth floor. His usual confidence had turned into a simmering fury. "This Blackstar is a threat to our very existence. We cannot ignore it." Grand Admiral Xeros, now the highest-ranking officer after Vralik's death, stepped forward. "We've underestimated humanity for too long. Their technology, whatever they've uncovered, is beyond anything we've seen. We must act decisively." Orlax sneered. "And what do you propose, Xeros? Another fleet to be destroyed? Or shall we cower in fear before these humans?" Xeros's 4 eyes glimmered with determination. "We will not send just another fleet. This time, we will deploy the Imperial Armada." The chamber fell silent. The Imperial Armada was the pride of the Empire minus 300 warships, each armed with the most advanced weapons, commanded by the brightest minds in the galaxy. It had not been deployed in over a century, reserved only for existential threats. If humanity thought they could stand against the Empire, the Armada would prove them wrong. On the far side of the galaxy, the Blackstar's crew prepared for the inevitable response. Commander Ethan Kane stood on the bridge, studying the holographic map of Imperial movements. Every report, every intercepted message, pointed to one conclusion. The Empire was coming in force. "They'll send everything they have," Lieutenant Harper said, her voice steady but tense. "They won't make the same mistakes." Kane nodded. "Good, neither will we." The Blackstar's engineering team worked tirelessly, fine-tuning its systems. The ship's cloaking device was upgraded to counter new Imperial scanning methods. Its weapons were calibrated for faster firing cycles. Deep within the ship, the mysterious alien energy core, an artifact recovered from a derelict vessel decades ago, hummed with increasing power. The AI's voice echoed across the bridge. "Enemy fleet detected. Estimated arrival. 12 hours. Kane turned to Harper. "Prepare the crew. This will be our greatest test." The Imperial Armada emerged from hyperspace like a tidal wave. Hundreds of ships filled the void, their formation precise and overwhelming. At their center was the Supremacy, the Empire's largest and most powerful dreadnought, a city-sized fortress bristling with weapons. Grand Admiral Xeros commanded from its bridge, his expression cold and unyielding. "Locate the Blackstar," he ordered, "no matter what it takes." The Armada deployed advanced sensor drones, each capable of scanning across vast distances. Xeros was determined not to repeat Vralik's failure. This time, the Empire would find and destroy their elusive enemy. Hours passed with no sign of the Blackstar. The tension on the Supremacy's bridge grew thick. Then, a report came in. "Contact," an officer shouted. "A single ship, moving at high speed. It's the Blackstar." A holographic image of the Blackstar appeared, its sleek form slicing through space like a blade. It was headed straight for the Armada. "Foolish humans," Xeros muttered. "They think they can take us head-on. All ships, prepare to fire." The Armada's weapon systems activated in unison, hundreds of plasma cannons and missile launchers locking onto the Blackstar. But just as they prepared to fire, the Blackstar vanished. "What?" Xeros barked. "Where did it go?" On board the Blackstar, Kane watched the Armada's formation through the ship's advanced sensors. "Activate cloaking," he ordered. "Let's show them what we're capable of." The Blackstar disappeared from view, its cloaking system rendering it invisible to both sight and sensors. It moved silently through the Armada, weaving between ships like a ghost. The Empire's fleet was massive, but its size worked against it. The Blackstar exploited every gap, every blind spot. "Target their support vessels first," Kane commanded. "Cut off their eyes and ears." The Blackstar's weapons came to life. Precision strikes eliminated sensor drones and communication relays. Ships tasked with coordinating the Armada's movements were reduced to floating wrecks. Chaos rippled through the fleet as captains struggled to regroup. "Where is it?" Xeros demanded. His officers scrambled to locate the Blackstar, but every scan came back empty. Then the Blackstar struck the Supremacy itself. The Supremacy shuddered as a concentrated energy beam tore through its shields. Alarm klaxons blared across the dreadnought. Xeros gripped the edge of his command console, his eyes scanning the reports flooding in. "Shields down to 60%. An officer reported. "We're taking heavy damage." Xeros clenched his fists. "All ships, converge on my position. Box it in." The Armada moved to surround the Supremacy, forming an impenetrable wall of firepower. But the Blackstar was faster. It darted through the formation, its weapons wreaking havoc at every turn. Explosions lit up the void as Imperial ships were destroyed one after another. On board the Blackstar, Kane's voice was calm and commanding. "They're trying to trap us. Let them." Harper raised an eyebrow. "Sir," Kane smirked. "Activate the Singularity Cannon." Deep within the Blackstar, the alien energy core surged with power, the ship's most devastating weapon. The Singularity Cannon began to charge. The Blackstar positioned itself at the heart of the Armada, surrounded on all sides. "Fire," Kane ordered. A blinding beam of light erupted from the Blackstar, striking the Supremacy. The impact created a shockwave that rippled through the Armada, disabling ships and sending debris spiraling into space. The Supremacy's hull cracked, its engines failing. Xeros stared at the destruction, his confidence shattered. This can't be." As the Blackstar disappeared back into the void, the Armada was left in ruins. Kane watched the wreckage on the view screen, his expression unreadable. "They'll send more," Harper said quietly. "They always do," Kane replied. "But every time they come, they'll lose more than they gain. The Empire isn't ready for what humanity has become. Humanity's secret weapon." The Galactic Empire reeled from the destruction of the Imperial Armada. Survivors' accounts painted a terrifying picture of the Blackstar, an unstoppable ghost ship, faster and deadlier than anything they had ever encountered. The Empire's propaganda machine worked overtime to downplay the disaster, but whispers of humanity's rise spread across the galaxy. In the heart of the Empire's capital, Chancellor Orlax called an emergency meeting of the High Council. The Grand Chamber, once a symbol of unshakable power, now felt like a hollow shell. "This cannot continue," Orlax snarled. His usual arrogance was replaced with desperation. "The Blackstar has humiliated us twice. If we don't act now, the Empire will crumble." Grand Admiral Xeros, still recovering from his defeat, stood at attention. "We need answers. What makes the Blackstar so powerful? How have humans surpassed us so quickly?" Orlax turned to a shadowy figure at the edge of the room. "Agent Virus, what have your spies uncovered?" Virus, a thin, insectoid operative, stepped forward. His voice was a raspy whisper. "Humans have discovered something ancient, something we long believed lost." A holographic display flickered to life, showing images of a derelict alien ship buried beneath a distant planet. Its design was unlike anything in the Empire's archives. This vessel was unearthed decades ago on the human colony of Andar Prime. The Blackstar's core technology is based on this artifact. The council members murmured in disbelief. Orlax's eyes narrowed. "What kind of artifact?" Virus hesitated. "An energy source. Its origin is unknown." On the Blackstar, Commander Ethan Kane stood in the engineering bay, staring at the ship's glowing energy core. Encased in layers of reinforced alloys, the core pulsed with a deep, rhythmic hum. It was alive, in a way that no human or alien fully understood. Dr. Ilara Voss, the chief engineer, joined him. "You're worried," she said, her tone soft but knowing. Kane nodded. "It's not just a weapon. This thing, it feels like it's guiding us." Ilara sighed. "The core is alien, yes, but it's also what saved us. Without it, the Blackstar wouldn't exist. Humanity wouldn't have a chance against the Empire." Kane frowned. "And what happens when it decides it doesn't need us anymore?" Ilara didn't answer. The truth was, even she didn't fully understand the artifact they had built their ship around. All she knew was that it gave humanity an edge the Empire couldn't counter. At least not yet. The Empire's new plan was already in motion. Using the data provided by Virus, a fleet of stealth ships slipped into human space. Their target, Andar Prime, the birthplace of the Blackstar's technology. Leading the operation was General Klivik, a ruthless tactician known for his cold efficiency. "If we can destroy the source of their technology," Klivik told his crew, "we can cripple humanity's ability to resist. The Blackstar will fall." The fleet arrived at Andar Prime undetected. Imperial troops deployed to the surface, quickly overwhelming the colony's defenses. Their objective was clear: capture or destroy the alien relic hidden beneath the planet's surface. But humanity had anticipated this move. As Klevik's forces breached the underground facility, alarms blared. The lights flickered, and a recorded message played over the speakers. "You've made a mistake coming here." Klivik sneered. Humans and their empty threats. Then the traps were triggered. Explosions rocked the facility, collapsing tunnels and cutting off the Imperial troops' escape. Automated turrets sprang to life, cutting down soldiers with precision fire. The relic itself was gone, evacuated days earlier by human forces. Above the planet, the Blackstar emerged from hyperspace. On the Blackstar's bridge, Kane watched the Imperial fleet scramble to respond. "They walked right into it," he said with a hint of satisfaction. Lieutenant Harper grinned. "Let's finish the job." The Blackstar's weapons roared to life, tearing through the stealth ships. The Empire's fleet, unprepared for a direct confrontation, faltered. Klivik's flagship attempted to flee, but the Blackstar's cloaking system allowed it to outmaneuver every attempt at escape. In a final act of desperation, Klivik ordered his remaining ships to self-destruct, hoping to take the Blackstar with them. But the Blackstar's advanced AI predicted the move. The ship retreated just out of range as the Imperial fleet detonated, leaving nothing but debris. Back on the Blackstar, Kane and his crew reviewed the aftermath. "They're desperate. Harper said. "The Empire's losing its grip." Kane nodded. "But desperation makes them dangerous. They'll come after us with everything they have." Ilara joined them, her expression grim. "And the more we use the core, the more it changes. It's evolving." Kane frowned. "What does that mean for us?" Ilara hesitated. "I don't know. But we need to be careful. The core might be the key to our survival, or our destruction." Kane stared at the glowing artifact on the screen, its rhythmic pulses almost hypnotic. "Whatever it is, it's not just our weapon anymore. It's our responsibility." In the Empire's capital, Chancellor Orlax received the grim report. Andar Prime was a failure. The Blackstar remained undefeated. His claws dug into the armrests of his throne. "Summon the Grand Fleet," he growled. "If humanity wants war, we'll give it to them." The ambush. The Galactic Empire's Grand Fleet was a sight to behold. Thousands of warships gathered near the gravity well of Xanthera Prime, their metallic hulls reflecting the light of a distant sun. At their center stood the Eternal Dominion, the largest dreadnought ever constructed. This was no ordinary deployment. It was the largest fleet in the Empire's history. Chancellor Orlax himself had arrived on the Eternal Dominion to oversee the operation. "This is it," he declared to his generals. "Humanity's defiance ends today." Grand Admiral Xeros, humbled but resolute, addressed the fleet's captains via hologram. "We have studied the Blackstar's tactics. It thrives on stealth and speed, exploiting gaps in our defenses. But this time, we dictate the battlefield." The Empire had chosen Xanthera Prime for its natural defenses. A field of asteroid debris surrounding the planet created a narrow, navigable corridor. The fleet's cruisers deployed hundreds of gravity mines within the field, designed to trap and crush any ship that strayed from the path. Above the planet, a massive energy disruptor was stationed, capable of disabling even the most advanced cloaking technology. "This trap is inescapable," Xeros assured the Council. "The Blackstar will have nowhere to hide." Far from Xanthera Prime, aboard the Blackstar, Commander Ethan Kane reviewed the latest intelligence reports. The Empire's movements were too deliberate, too calculated. "They're baiting us," Kane said, studying the holographic display of the asteroid field. "This isn't just a fleet. It's a trap." Lieutenant Harper frowned. "So we avoid it, right? Hit them where they don't expect." Kane shook his head. "No, we spring the trap, but on our terms." The Blackstar approached Xanthera Prime under the cover of its advanced cloaking system. Its sleek form drifted silently through the asteroid field, avoiding the mines with precision. The ship's AI, known as ECHO, calculated every movement with eerie accuracy. "Enemy fleet detected," ECHO reported. "Fleet composition, 4,827 vessels. Probability of engagement success, 12%. Kane smirked. "Good thing we don't rely on probabilities. Begin Phase 1. The Blackstar launched a swarm of decoy drones into the asteroid field. Each drone emitted a signal mimicking the ship's unique energy signature. Within moments, the gravity mines activated, targeting the decoys in a chain reaction of explosions. The asteroid field lit up like a fireworks display, throwing the Imperial fleet into disarray. "Phase 1 complete," Harper said. "The mines are gone, but the disruptor's still active." Kane nodded. "Let's give them something to focus on. Deploy the Spectre." The Spectre was one of the Blackstar's secret weapons, a smaller unmanned stealth craft equipped with advanced jamming technology. It darted through the battlefield, broadcasting a signal that scrambled the fleet's targeting systems. On the Eternal Dominion, Xeros slammed his fist against the console. "What is this interference? Where's the Blackstar?" "Unknown, Admiral," an officer replied. "Our scanners are blind." As the fleet scrambled to locate the Spectre, the Blackstar slipped through their defenses. Its cloaking device flickered as it passed dangerously close to the disruptor's range. The crew held their breath. "Disruptor range detected," HFY warned. Countermeasures ready. Execute, Kane ordered. The Blackstar's hull emitted a burst of electromagnetic energy, temporarily overloading the disruptor sensors. For a few critical moments, the ship remained invisible. Inside the Empire's trap, chaos reigned. The decoys, the Spectre, and the Blackstar's maneuvers had thrown the fleet into confusion. Ships fired at phantom targets, their formation breaking apart. On the Blackstar's bridge, Kane gave the next command. Target their disruptor. Full power. The Blackstar's primary cannon charge, its alien energy core glowing with intensity. A single concentrated beam erupted from the ship, slicing through the disruptor station in a spectacular explosion. The battlefield plunged into darkness as the disruptor systems failed. "They've lost their eyes," Harper said with a grin. "Now it's our turn." The Blackstar began its assault, weaving through the Imperial fleet with unmatched speed. Its weapons tore through cruisers and frigates, each strike precise and devastating. Imperial captains shouted orders, but their fleet was too large and too uncoordinated to respond effectively. On the Eternal Dominion, Saros gritted his teeth. "They're picking us apart. Focus all fire on the asteroid field. Flush them out." The fleet unleashed a barrage of plasma and missiles into the field, creating a deadly storm of debris. But the Blackstar was already moving, using the chaos to its advantage. Hisiko's voice was calm. Enemy fleet adapting. Probability of success increasing. Kane smirked. "They're starting to panic. Good. Let's make it worse." As the Blackstar continued its assault, it activated its most terrifying weapon, the Singularity Cannon. A controlled black hole formed at the cannon's tip, pulling Imperial ships into its grasp. Entire squadrons vanished into the void, leaving the fleet further weakened. On the Eternal Dominion, Orlax watched in horror. "This isn't a ship," he muttered. "It's a force of nature." Zeros turned to him. "We must retreat. The fleet is lost." Orlax's claws dug into the armrests of his throne. "No, we are the Empire. We do not retreat." But even he could not deny the reality before him. One by one, the Empire's greatest ships fell, their debris scattering across the battlefield. As the Blackstar emerged victorious, Kane's expression remained stoic. "Casualties?" he asked. "Minimal," Harper replied. "They couldn't land a single hit." Kane nodded. "Then let's send them a message." The Blackstar broadcast a single transmission to the surviving Imperial ships. It was Kane's voice, calm and unyielding. "Leave now, or join the rest of your fleet." The Empire's remaining ships fled, their pride shattered. The trap they had so carefully laid had become their own downfall. Back on the Eternal Dominion, Orlax sat in silence, his gaze fixed on the wreckage of his fleet. "This isn't over," he growled. "Summon every remaining ship. The Blackstar will burn." War of attrition. The Galactic Empire was bleeding. The annihilation of their grand fleet at Centhera Prime had shaken their grip on the galaxy. Star systems, once loyal out of fear, now whispered of rebellion. The Blackstar's victories had given them hope that the mighty Empire could fall. Chancellor Orlax, however, refused to yield. He summoned every remaining ship in the Empire's arsenal, assembling what he called the Endless Armada. This would not be a surgical strike. This was a war of attrition, a relentless campaign to wear humanity down. "We will crush them," Orlax declared, his voice echoing through the command chamber. "No matter how many ships we lose, no matter how long it takes, humanity will be brought to its knees." On board the Blackstar, Commander Ethan Kane studied the latest intelligence reports. The Empire's endless armada stretched across the stars, blockading trade routes, attacking colonies, and cutting off humanity's supply lines. The strategy was clear: overwhelm humanity with sheer numbers and choke the resistance into submission. Lieutenant Harper entered the bridge, her expression grim. "Reports from the outer colonies. They're losing food and medical supplies. The Empire's raiding everything." Kane clenched his fists. They know they can't beat us in a straight fight, so they're trying to starve us out. Isiko, the ship's AI, spoke in its calm, mechanical tone. Projection. The Empire's strategy will destabilize human-controlled sectors within 6 standard months. Recommended action: disrupt their supply chain. Kane nodded. We need to hit them where it hurts. Their logistics are just as vulnerable as ours. Harper raised an eyebrow. You're thinking of targeting their core worlds. Kane smirked. Exactly. The Blackstar launched a series of precision strikes deep into Imperial space. Using its cloaking system and superior speed, it targeted fuel depots, shipyards, and supply convoys. Each attack sent ripples of chaos through the Empire's war machine. Without fuel, their massive fleets were stranded. Without new ships, their losses couldn't be replenished. On the bridge of the Eternal Dominion, Grand Admiral Xeros reviewed the latest reports. They're dismantling us piece by piece, he said, his voice tinged with frustration. If we don't stop them, the Endless Armada will collapse. Chancellor Orlax growled. Then stop them. Track the Blackstar, no matter the cost. We're trying, Xeros replied. But their technology, it's unpredictable. Every time we think we have them, they disappear. Orlax's eyes narrowed. Then force them into a fight they can't run from. The Empire's next move was brutal. They deployed their fleet to human-occupied planets, using civilian populations as hostages. The message was clear: surrender the Blackstar, or watch your worlds burn. Kane stared at the transmission from the Empire. Images of Imperial ships hovering over human cities filled the screen. They're crossing a line, he muttered. Harper's voice was icy. They already crossed it when they started this war. ECHO interrupted. Strategic analysis. Direct engagement with the Endless Armada is high risk. Recommended action: divide and neutralize. Kane considered the AI suggestion. Divide and conquer, then. If they want us, they'll have to come get us. The Blackstar began a campaign of misdirection. Using decoy drones and false signals, it lured segments of the Endless Armada away from their main force. One by one, these smaller fleets were ambushed and destroyed. The Blackstar's precision and efficiency were unmatched, its crew operating like a well-oiled machine. But the strain was beginning to show. Harper approached Kane during a rare quiet moment. We're winning battles, but the war's taking its toll. The crew's exhausted. Supplies are running low. Kane sighed. I know, but if we stop, even for a moment, they'll gain the upper hand. ECHO chimed in. New intelligence suggests the Empire is amassing its forces at a single location. Probability of decisive engagement, 87%. Harper frowned. It's a trap. It has to be. Kane nodded. Of course it is. But if we can take out their central command, we can end this war. The Blackstar made its way to the coordinates provided by ECHO, a barren, lifeless system on the edge of the galaxy. There, the Endless Armada waited. Thousands of ships formed an impenetrable wall, their weapons primed and ready. On the Eternal Dominion, Xeros watched as the Blackstar appeared on their sensors. They've come, he said, a grim smile spreading across his face. All ships, hold position. Let them make the first move. Kane stood on the Blackstar's bridge, studying the massive fleet before him. They've consolidated their forces. They think they've got us cornered. Harper glanced at him. Do they? Kane smirked. No, they're just making it easier for us. The Blackstar's plan was bold and dangerous. Using its singularity cannon, it targeted the system's lone star, creating a massive gravitational disturbance. The Empire's fleet was thrown into chaos as the star's energy flared, disrupting their formation. Xeros barked orders as his ships struggled to regroup. Protect the Eternal Dominion. Focus all fire on the Blackstar. The Blackstar darted through the chaos, its cloaking device flickering as it unleashed devastating strikes. Imperial ships exploded in rapid succession, their weapons useless against the ship's speed and precision. But the Empire had one final card to play. Energy signature detected, HFY warned. Enemy superweapon activating. On the Eternal Dominion, Orlax watched as their secret weapon powered up. A planet-killer cannon designed to obliterate entire worlds. "Fire it," he commanded. "Destroy them." The Blackstar's crew braced as the massive weapon fired. A beam of unimaginable power tore through space, aimed directly at their ship. "Show evasive maneuvers," Kane shouted. The Blackstar twisted and turned, narrowly avoiding the beam. The weapon's energy destabilized the surrounding area, causing ships from both sides to be caught in its destructive wake. Kane's voice was steady as he gave the final command. "Target their superweapon. Full power." The Singularity cannon charged, its energy core glowing brighter than ever. With a single, devastating shot, the Eternal Dominion's weapon was destroyed, the explosion tearing the dreadnought apart. As the Imperial fleet retreated, Kane stood on the bridge, watching the wreckage drift through space. "They thought they could outlast us," he said quietly. "But they were wrong." Back on the Empire's capital world, Orlax received the news of their defeat. His once mighty empire was crumbling, and humanity had proven to be its equal, or perhaps its superior. "This isn't over," he muttered, though his voice lacked its usual conviction. Not yet. The final showdown. The Galactic Empire was in its death throes. The destruction of the Eternal Dominion and its superweapon had sent shockwaves across the galaxy. Loyal systems began to rebel, supply lines were in shambles, and what remained of the endless armada was in retreat. Yet, Chancellor Orlax refused to surrender. In a desperate bid to salvage his power, Orlax summoned the remnants of the Empire's fleet to their capital world, Erindor Prime. It was the last bastion of Imperial control, a planet fortified with massive orbital defenses and ground-based weaponry. If the Empire was to fall, Orlax intended to make humanity pay dearly for it. Aboard the Blackstar, Commander Ethan Kane and his crew prepared for their final mission. The mood was tense but resolute. They had fought countless battles, outmaneuvered every trap, and dismantled the Empire piece by piece. Now, it all came down to this. Kane stood at the center of the bridge, addressing his crew. "This is it, the Empire's last stand. They've thrown everything they have into defending Erindor Prime. If we take this planet, we end their reign." Harper, standing at her station, smirked. "And if we fail?" Kane's eyes hardened. "We won't." Shows calm, mechanical voice interrupted. "Enemy forces detected. Fleet composition: 2,342 vessels. Orbital defenses include 18 planetary cannons and 37 shield generators. Probability of success: 17%. A ripple of tension passed through the bridge, but Kane's resolve remained unshaken. 17% is better than 0. Let's make it count. As the Blackstar approached Erindor Prime, it became clear just how heavily fortified the planet was. The Empire's remaining fleet formed a massive defensive ring, while the planet's surface bristled with weaponry designed to repel any invasion. "Enemy fleet has locked onto us," ECGO reported. "Orbital defenses charging." Kane grinned. "Let's give them a reason to worry. Begin the diversion." The Blackstar deployed a fleet of decoy drones, each programmed to mimic the ship's energy signature. The decoys swarmed the Imperial fleet, drawing their fire and creating chaos in the ranks. Meanwhile, the Blackstar cloaked and slipped through the defensive lines, heading straight for the planet. On the surface of Erindor Prime, Chancellor Orlax stood in the command center, watching the battle unfold on holographic displays. His face twisted in fury as reports came in of the Blackstar's evasive maneuvers. "Find them," he roared. "They're just one ship. Destroy them." But the Blackstar was already inside the planet's atmosphere. Its sleek form darted through the clouds, evading anti-aircraft fire with impossible precision. Its target wasn't the fleet or even the orbital defenses. It was the planetary shield generators. Target acquired, HFY announced. Generator cluster ahead. Kane leaned forward. Fire the singularity cannon. Full charge. The weapon powered up, its alien energy core glowing brighter than ever before. A single devastating beam erupted from the Blackstar, striking the shield generators. The explosion rippled across the planet, shattering the protective dome and leaving the surface vulnerable. With the shields down, humanity's fleet arrived in full force. Ships emerged from hyperspace, engaging the Imperial fleet in a massive, all-out assault. The battle was brutal, with explosions lighting up the void as ships from both sides were destroyed. Harper monitored the chaos from her station. "We've got reinforcements coming in. Looks like Earth sent the cavalry." Kane nodded. "Good. Let's finish this." The Blackstar returned to orbit, weaving through the battle and targeting key Imperial vessels. Its precision strikes crippled command ships, disruptors, and supply carriers, throwing the fleet into disarray. Inside the Imperial Command Center, Orlax realized the battle was lost. His fleet was in shambles, his defenses were failing, and the Blackstar was unstoppable. But he refused to accept defeat. "Activate the Exterminatus Protocol," he ordered. His generals hesitated. "Chancellor, that will destroy the planet and everyone on it." Orlax snarled. "I won't let humanity have the satisfaction of victory. Do it." On the Blackstar, HFY detected the activation of the Exterminatus Protocol. Planetary self-destruct sequence initiated. Estimated time to detonation: 10 minutes. Kane's jaw tightened. They're going to blow up their own planet. Harper's eyes widened. "What do we do?" Kane took a deep breath. "We stop it. HFY, locate the source of the sequence." "Source located," the AI replied. "Central Command Center. Probability of success, 9%. Kane smirked. "I've beaten worse odds." The Blackstar descended back to the planet's surface, landing near the command center. Kane and a small team of soldiers stormed the facility, fighting through waves of Imperial troops. The halls echoed with the sounds of blaster fire and explosions. As they reached the control room, they found Orlax waiting for them. The Chancellor stood tall, a plasma blade in his hand and fury in his eyes. "You think you've won," he snarled. "Even if you kill me, the Empire will never bow to your kind." Kane raised his weapon. "The Empire's already fallen. You just don't know it yet." The two clashed in a fierce duel, Kane's agility against Orlax's raw strength. Finally, Kane disarmed the Chancellor, pinning him against the control console. "Deactivate the sequence," Kane demanded. Orlax sneered. "Never." Without hesitation, Kane slammed a command device onto the console. HFY's voice echoed through the room. "Sequence override initiated. Detonation averted." Kane stepped back as Orlax crumpled to the floor, defeated. With the planet secured and the Empire's fleet in full retreat, humanity's forces declared victory. The Blackstar rose into orbit one final time, its crew watching as the remnants of the once mighty Empire scattered across the stars. Harper turned to Kane. "So, what now?" Kane stared out at the void, his expression calm but resolute. "Now we rebuild. But we'll be ready if they ever come back." The Blackstar disappeared into the depths of space, its mission complete but its legacy just beginning.